Hello, if you're looking for a quick, efficient way to get your kettle sparkling clean in no time, then you're in the right place, because that's exactly what I'm going to show you how to do in this video, using just vinegar and a little bit of baking soda as an optional extra if you want to, but you can do it just using vinegar. And what's even better is I've got a really dirty kettle to show you with and to do a demonstration with. We live in a really hard water area, so everything gets clogged up with limescale in no time. It's pretty gross, and I've been saving this one up especially for you, just so I can show you how effective this cleaning method is. And of course there's several reasons that you would want to keep your kettle clean of limescale. One is so that you don't have those bits, horrible hard bits floating in your tea, which is pretty disgusting. And I've actually accidentally given a guest a cup of tea with some limescale in once, which was pretty gross. Sorry, Alex the brickie. But also, if you get your kettle really clean, it's actually much more efficient and it uses less energy to heat up. So it's well worth spending the very short amount of time it takes to do this job. Right, before we set about cleaning this baby, I need to show you what's inside. And I have to say that this bit is not for the faint-hearted. So if you're easily offended by dirty things, look away now. But let's take a look inside. So before we set about the cleaning, I'm just going to take some of the loose bits out just to show you what the actual limescale looks like. And then all the hard bits that stuck on we will get rid of with the vinegar. Now, this is pretty gross, but let's see what we can grab. Here's some bits. I mean, this is not the kind of stuff that you want in your tea, is it? So what we're going to do is really simple. I've got my trusty vinegar here, a cup here, and the kettle, of course. And most kettles have a minimum fill point, so you need to make sure that you pay attention to that. So it's probably going to take 1 or 2 cups of vinegar, depending on the size of kettle that you've got and how severe your limescale problem is. I'm going to pop a couple of cups into our kettle. So now all we're simply going to do is turn it on and let it boil, and the process of that vinegar heating up in the kettle is actually going to help to loosen that limescale, and then we can clear it out and it should be almost as good as new. If you have got limescale that's really caked on though, there is a second stage that you can do using a cloth and some baking soda. Once your kettle's cooled down, you can just scrape off any remaining residue. So let's see how it goes.
A few moments later.
Ready for this? Pretty good, huh? One thing to remember once you finish with your vinegar, and I'm ashamed to say we actually had to run through the whole process twice because our kettle was that dirty that it didn't completely remove the limescale the first time round. At first glance it looked pretty good. We had a look in the bottom, it was all clear and shiny, but then when you looked up the side, that real hard caked on limescale was still there, so we did it all again. Got to the stage where we were happy with it. Obviously you then have to get rid of your vinegar and pour that away, but then you need to do a couple of cycles of basically rinsing it out with water, and then we just did a cool rinse at the end as well. So you boil it again, get rid of that, and eventually you get rid of all the vinegar and any bits of limescale that are floating around. Otherwise you might end up with tea that tastes of vinegar, which is not going to be a good thing. So don't forget that very important stage. In the end I just cleaned up the outside using a bit of vinegar and cloth as well. That worked quite well. Obviously I could give it a good polish as well, but that's not the point of today's video, so I haven't worried too much about that. I'm really chuffed actually with the way it's turned out. Obviously the thing to remember about limescale is that it's alkaline, so it's a build-up of minerals, so you want to attack it with something acid. So vinegar is an obvious choice, but if you don't have any to hand, you can try other things like Coke and lemon juice as well, and you can actually boil those up as well in your kettle. Some people dilute things, other people do it neat. I think when you've got a case like this, you've got to go pretty hard in there, so we went with neat vinegar. And it's worked, and we're really very happy because it was a cheap, easy and quick way to do it. Another time, if we had it and let it get to that stage again, I may put the vinegar in the night before and let it soak overnight just to give it a bit more time to work, and then boil it up in the morning, and I think that might have saved us from having to go through the process twice, so worth a thought. Also, to avoid getting to the stage where you get so much limescale, it's good practice not to leave your kettle with water in it. So when you finish making your drinks, get rid of that water, or try ideally only to fill it up with as much water as you need, because the water sitting in the kettle actually brings on that limescale more quickly. So something to be careful of. Apparently the harder water does actually have marginal health benefits, so you are getting some health benefits from all of those minerals, so it's not all bad news. But that's it for today. I feel like it's about time I had a cup of tea because I've not been able to for a few hours. So let's put the kettle on. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you try this for yourself, let me know how you get on. And if you're new here, I would love it if you would consider subscribing. I post lots of handy, helpful home content like DIY and renovation advice and tips like this, so it'd be great to see you again soon. But that's it for today. Bye bye.